Hi there and welcome. Have a special guest with me today. I'm really excited about with Sara Rector. She's a really
Hey!
good friend of mine, and we've been working together for at least 15 years, if not more.
Yeah.
And she is a marriage family therapist that specializes in infertility. And so today we're going to be talking about the struggles that infertility may cause in a relationship, and she's going to be sharing with us some tools and kind of describe a little bit what's going on, so maybe you have a better understanding. So, Sara, if you don't mind, maybe you can start by sharing a little bit about why you got into infertility as a specialty.
Okay, thanks for asking, Denise. So this became my passion because I personally experienced infertility. My husband and I tried for 7 years to conceive a child, and we started off the old-fashioned way. And at the time, I was traveling. I was in outside sales, and so that made it challenging. But we struggled. It was really difficult. It was really difficult because people around us, we were married, and then what people ask you all the time once you get married is, when are you going to have a baby? And it wasn't happening. And everyone around us, our friends that were young marrieds, kept having baby number one, baby number two, baby number three, and it was just heartbreaking every time. We would try, and I would wait to be pregnant, and I would have my period, and it was just heartbreaking. Felt like a failure. It really negatively impacted our relationship. And oh my God, forget about the sex life. I mean, because we experienced this failure time after time, and it was connected to us making love. Um, so we went through that, and then finally, um, we uh, we went to seek treatment, and we connected with a reproductive endocrinologist. And I wish I would have done that much earlier. We did acupuncture. We really started to pull out all the stops to try to make do everything we could to conceive. And so we ended up going through different treatments and diagnostics, and it was decided it was time to do IVF, and we did IVF, and it worked. And my daughter is now going to be 23 in April, at the end of
Wow,
April.
23
So
already?
yeah,
Wow.
I know. And she's our miracle baby. I mean, it's just, she's such a blessing, and I just feel so grateful that we were able to conceive her. So what happened is that when I was going through the infertility, it was really the darkest time in my life. And I'd always been able to achieve goals. I'd set a goal and it would happen. Um and even some of my therapist friends said really weird things like relax. And one said, gosh, she said, you're so angry. And i
Oh,
said i said I thought about that. I thought, oh God, is something wrong with me? I mean, I already felt like something was wrong with me. um and then I thought to myself, yeah, I'm angry. You'd be
mhm.
angry too if you tried for 7 years and your legs were up in stirrups and you'd been diagnosed and poked and prodded. And um, so, anyways, it happened. It was a miracle. And my husband and I, we navigated it. And so, having gone through infertility, um, we I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, basically. It's strengthened our relationship. But I can't. I need to get to the point here. The point is
It's okay. You're
that
fine.
I went to. I decided, you know what, I want to help other people that have gone through this, and I actually created a treatment program for myself, utilizing everything I had learned in sales, and then also in my becoming a therapist. Um, and so I wanted to share that with people, and so I have been doing that, and
Yeah.
it's my passion. It's a work I love. I just got another uh, baby announcement from another client. I mean, this is what I live for,
Yeah.
is to go through these dark times with my clients, and to then get those baby announcements, to see the mother and the baby and the daddy in my room, and I get to meet the baby.
It's the
This is what I
best.
live for.
Yeah,
It is the
it's the
best.
best. I
So
know.
that's kind of maybe the shortened version that seemed long. I don't
No, it's great.
know.
I'm sure, no, I mean, it's so funny. Um, So if any of you are feeling some of those feelings too, give us a thumbs up, because I know there's a lot of you that are struggling, and you probably are relating to some of those feelings that Sara mentioned. So give us a thumbs up if you're feeling that. And also make sure to share this video so that we can help other women that are going through this journey, because Sara's going to give some really great tools. And I'm going to ask you, if you have an aha, to do a hashtag aha and then share what that is. Let us continue on. Thank you, Sara. So Sara, you've been doing this. I mean, I've known you for over 15 years while you've been doing this, but how long have you been doing this work for?
Well, my daughter's going to be 23, so it's been over 15 years. She was a little one when I connected with Resolve, and they asked me to lead the Resolve groups. And so, yeah, it's been a little bit over 15 years that I've been leading the groups.
Yeah.
And the groups are really important because, we get to feeling so isolated when we're going through infertility. Like I mentioned, everyone around us is conceiving. And the content of the conversation is about pregnancy, giving birth, and that's really hard. It's like I felt like, wow, I'm not a member of a club that I really want to belong to, and I have nothing to add to the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's my passion. I love doing it. It makes me feel good.
I know, it's the best. I know you. It's great. So can you share? I've noticed that with the patients that I see, that when they come in, they are, they're sharing some of their struggles and stuff. Can you share some of the most common struggles that you see, that their challenges when they're going through some fertility that you help couples with?
Well, yeah. So there's a couple of different things. So let's put on our love glasses now.
We got some love glasses.
Let's see this through the eyes of love. Happy Valentine's Day early. Yeah. So, anyways, so what happens is, by the way, men and women are different. And we all know this. This is like, as my husband says, it's stating the obvious. So women and men handle this very differently. And then there's personality differences too. Some people tend to be more positive. Some tend to be more negative. Some are more anxious. Some are more depressed. So it's really just navigating those differences that we navigate when we're in couples. But I got to take these off. I feel ridiculous.
I was waiting. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't see very well.
So it's just navigating this. But when you're going through infertility, it's such a stressor.
Yeah.
And so you're off the charts. There's a stress scale. And when you go through infertility, it's situational stress, and it just really makes everything more difficult. So, and it really just illuminates those differences, and when you're already feeling isolated, a lot of the women that I talk about, they feel so isolated from other women that are naturally conceiving. They said, oh, I think we'll try to be pregnant tonight. And of course it happens for them. And then when you feel separated from your partner, from your husband, it's the worst feeling. Is what they report, and I know feeling that too. So it's normal for men and women to feel differently. Men usually, not all the time, there are exceptions, but usually women are more comfortable talking about their feelings than men are. And the thing of it is, there's a biological fact that illuminates this, in that we have 10 times, as women, we have 10 times more wiring in our brain for verbal input and output. And so we talk a lot, and we can take in a lot of words, and I'm married to an introvert. So then you just divide those number of words by 2, So I remember he'd come home from work and he'd just get that glazed over look after, he had used his words up during the work day, and he wanted to sit by the TV. And so anyways, I shared this with couples, and they just laugh because it's true. I don't know if you can relate to that. I don't know if your husband, maybe he's an extrovert.
My husband's an extrovert.
Yeah, he is. I'm thinking about him, and so probably he doesn't glaze over that often. But anyway, so this is what happens, and women want to talk about it, and men, stereotypically, they feel like let's not.
Yeah.
I think I'll go out into the garage and work on something, or TV or whatever. And we want to process. There's a really good book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, and men feel like they have to fix it for their partner. And women, the way we're wired, most of us, is we're just venting. We're just talking. This is my experience, and I want to share it with you. I want you to be current with me and understand me. And that makes men anxious and nervous because they think that their job is to fix it. And they can't fix infertility, Right. I mean, gosh, even if they were an RE, it's not 100%. A reproductive endocrinologist doctor that specializes. And so that it makes them real anxious.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that's really helpful when couples get into therapy, when women get into therapy, is, and I recommend the group in most cases, because that's a place where women can talk about what's going on with other women that understand, and then they have an outlet for that. So it's kind of like I have husbands that kind of want to drop their wife off in therapy. Yeah. Sometimes the women bring, they come in together. Oh yes, well, my husband needs to come in with me. And then the husband says, well, you know what, sweetie, I'm supporting you, but gosh, I think that group sounds like a great idea. And we just laugh because it is a great idea, because then, you have an outlet, you have the support, because going back to men and women do this differently.
Right.
So you get that understanding.
What about in the bedroom? I mean,
oh yeah. Okay, let's put these on.
And put the love glasses back on.
Let's talk about the bedroom.
Right. I know a lot of women, when I ask them about how their sex life is, right, it becomes a job for them. Yeah. So
so let's talk about that. It's making me think, okay, got to take these off again.
Hi, Haley. How you doing?
Hi, Haley. Oh, she jumped on about the bedroom, huh? That caught her interest. Does she have a question? Anyways, so I remember I went to a Resolve conference when my husband and I were going through infertility, and they had different breakout sessions. And so I went to the one that was about your sex life. And my husband's, he's kind of shy about that stuff. I'm not, obviously. And, opposites attract again. So I said, oh God, I've got to go to this one, because, this is really impacting our sex life and how I feel about my sexuality and myself as a woman. And so this woman that was teaching the class, she was a sex therapist. So she knew a lot about sex, but she really didn't know too much about infertility. And so she started talking, and the natives were restless. I mean, here were a lot of people that were angry and frustrated. And so she said, well, why don't you guys tell me what your experience is like going through infertility? And so we started to say, well, you've got to have sex at certain times, and you experience a sense of failure, and there's like performance anxiety. And she said, oh my God, you guys have every element of sexual dysfunction is present in this situation. And that really was eye-opening for me. So again, we have a situation. Infertility is traumatic. Yeah. Trauma is defined by an experience, a negative experience that most people don't have. And so because we're looking at the common statistic is 1 in 8 women in childbearing years will experience infertility, it's traumatic. And so it's a situation that creates these feelings, these experiences, and this dysfunction. Most of my infertility clients are very healthy. They're really healthy. Or I see other people, I'm a therapist, and I have been for a long time, and I see people with depression, anxiety, and their functionality has been negatively impacted in their life. My infertility clients, as general rule, are really healthy, but they've experienced this trauma. And so they're having reactions to this traumatic situation. So when you have to have timed intercourse, it really takes all the fun out of it. I remember my husband it's like, I'd come home, okay, tonight's the night, honey, and then he'd say to me, oh, do we have to? And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I just mustered up my desire to do this myself, and then you smashed it down by saying that, And so this is just a common, it's a common experience. And so there's different remedies to that. So one of the things that I recommend to my clients is take a break. Take a break from treatment and heal and breathe and have sex for fun and have sex to connect with your partner. Have sex. I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of ways to connect sexually other than intercourse. Do those things. Buy some lingerie. Get lotions and potions. Get back to nurturing your sexual relationship in that way, because it becomes like work.
And it's so important to have an intimate relationship with your partner, and getting back into the joy and the fun when you first met, or your relationship, right? I mean, it's really,
it's so important.
So important, especially when you're making a baby. Well, all the time, really. To have a healthy relationship, you need to have a healthy sex life, right?
Yeah. And, and then people, they talk about that they really don't want to have sex, because of these negative feelings. And so I just want people to know what I share is it's normal in this situation that is not normal. And so just talking about it, being gentle with yourself, understanding why you're feeling this way and thinking this way in the context of this experience. And the thing of it is to really be able to talk with your partner. Now, with us women, we need to give our partners the cliff notes. I don't know if you guys all know that reference of kind of the summary of the book.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Because they're processing things differently, right? As you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So that's where the therapy and the support system and the groups come in handy, because you can go to those groups and just kind of put it out there, get some feedback, and then you can go back and give it, just like boil it down to the essence of what you're feeling. And so that's important, but to have those kind of conversations, and for women to have other outlets, and the men need outlets too. The men are they have feelings and emotions too, and they're experiencing it in their own way, as we all are as individuals. So I've actually had men come in, or I've had a couple come in, and I've said, you know what, I'd like to see you individually. And I've had the man come in, and then he opens up and says, I'm scared, I'm sad. He doesn't want to say those things because he doesn't want to, he thinks, trigger her. And sometimes they do that in the couple session too, because he feels like, oh, if she starts crying, there's a trained professional and a box of Kleenex, so we're good. Sarah can take the wheel here, if my wife ends up in a puddle. So that works out well too.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So the men and women, so we have a few differences here. Sarah shared that are really great, is to try to make it fun. There's a lot of ways, even if it's taking a break from intercourse and just kind of playing around, finding other ways to excite each other, and start focusing on the good things in your relationship, and remembering the reason why you want to have a child with this person in the first place. Probably really important. And then just remembering that men are different, and they can't be our everything. And having an outlet, whether it's a support group with somebody who's professional to help guide you, since this is such a specific, really private journey for a lot of you. Having that outlet is really, really beneficial, I think. So make sure to share this video so we can help some other couples that are struggling with this too, as Sarah's giving some really amazing tips. And if you're getting something you're comfortable to share, I'd love to hear your aha. You can do #aha. I have some other questions for you. Oh, so can you share some other ways, Sarah, that you can navigate through this time, or give some a tip or so that they can take away today that they can start doing?
Yeah. So here's the thing. The couple system is taxed. This is a stressful, traumatic situation. So it's important to access other resources. So really figuring out what those other resources are going to be, what kind of self-care you're going to employ. Acupuncture is, and just all of the different things that you offer, Denise, are so helpful for just helping the body and connecting to the body and relaxing. I recommend that they see you. You have great systems in place to help provide that self-care and that resource. Your partner can't be your everything. So that's unrealistic. So access other resources for support and to get other ideas and problem solving too. That's really, really important. And so that's probably the main thing I would say is really figure out what makes you feel better. Do more of that. It's simple math. Figure out the people, places, and things that make you feel better, make you feel supported, make you feel hopeful. Increase those. Figure out and be aware of and conscious of the things that make you feel worse. The people, places, and things that make you feel worse. Minimize, delete those. It's simple math. And give yourself permission. You know, I've got women that say, "Oh, I feel so bad about myself. I don't want to go to a baby shower or first birthday." Of course you don't. And by the way, the world will not stop spinning if you don't go. Send a gift certificate. Say you're not feeling well. That's okay. You don't have to explain you're not feeling well emotionally. With someone's not feeling well physically, they don't go into the fine details of everything going on in their body. Just say, "I'm sorry, I can't make it," or you're doing something else, and maybe doing something else is staying home in bed in pajamas, and that's fine. You don't have to give all of those details. Now is the time, if you're going through this process, for radical self-care. So I think that's the most important thing. So what can you do now? You can sit down and you can figure out the things that make you feel good, the things that don't. Increase the feel good, decrease the not so good. And then also,
that's a good one.
Yeah. And then, well, that's going to be a big project right there. Resources. That was the second thing I wanted to say. Access resource, figure out where there's other resources.
Where are some? So we have her website up here, the circleoflifecenter.info. You can go to that. And Haley, maybe I don't know if you need to put it in the comment section or if they can just access it there. But so if you want more information or if you want to be able to reach Sara to ask her for help, Sara, do you talk to people that are across the country as well?
Oh yeah. So, yeah, I'm available for Skype, FaceTime, WhatsApp. That's a great one that I've used before. Yeah, I'm happy to communicate, email in any way. And I do have this reproductive wellness series that goes over the treatment plan, the positive intention conception, healing pregnancy loss, transition to ovum donation. And then there's 2 that have to do with the relationship between men and women, because that's such a big subject.
Such a big subject. I mean, you know, the relationship's so important. So, you know, it's just now. We'll see you again. I don't know what just happened there. We kind of blanked out. I hope you were able to hear this. Gotta love the technology. Should we say goodbye with our glasses?
And you know what? Do something, self-love and love your partner. See it through the eyes of love. Do something silly. Fake it until you make it.
Fake it until you make it.
Yeah. That works for sex too sometimes. No.
Sometimes it does. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. I want to
You're
look
welcome.
at you. Thank you so much. She's
You're
great. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. Thank you. Take care. Make sure to share this video so we can support other couples as well.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And here's to your fertility.